and welcome to the Horror Book Club podcast. I'm Joe, here with me is my co-host Dan.
Hello and greetings.
And we're at the end of Dracula. And what an end it is. Man, this last chapter...
There's quite a bit that happens.
Yeah, from the last few chapters where it's dozing off to... BAM! It just explodes into action. Yeah, they keep traveling. But then, here's the thing. Van Helsing, once near the castle, plans out his trap fairly well, encircling himself and Mina and the caravan with holy water, spilling it all over in a circle. Now, the horses die of fright, sadly. I actually felt really bad for the horses in that scene.
Yeah, they were the truly innocent ones that had nothing to do with the entire situation except helping transport Dracula.
Yeah, well, not Dracula, but Van Helsing, you mean. And Mina.
Oh, yeah, right.
That was a Freudian slip.
I was thinking of the caravan, but...
Yeah, they are in a caravan, Mina and Van Helsing.
Ah, okay.
Didn't you read it?
Yes.
Well, they're traveling in a wagon pulled by horses. I could find the part. Oh, come on, Jet. Go away. Anyways. Now, I actually did read this chapter. I'm joking.
I'm just thinking that the gypsies probably carried the
Oh, yeah, you're focused on the gypsies right now. We're not yet at that part of the discussion.
Okay.
And we're going to...
Pardon me, I was high on the action, eager for the good part.
Yeah, well, ironically, it's that part that really makes you think that Stephen Sommers should have directed a Dracula movie.
Oh, definitely.
Because, like, his Van Helsing movie actually sticks more to the tone, to a limited extent. Like, well, maybe not the tone, but at least he included action in the story, which this story is supposed to have a lot
between horror and action.
Yeah. Although he does introduce some comedy, which Dracula does have. Mostly with Quincy Morris just shooting through the window with his gun at a bat, because, why not? I'm kidding. Actually, he knew it was Drac. Now, what I like about this part is the haunting scene of when the ladies, the vampiresses appear in the mist and try to call out to Mina. And here, we actually have proof that Mina isn't actually lusting after Dracula. When they say, "Come, sister, come to us, come, come." In fear, I turned to my poor Madame Mina, and my heart with gladness leaped like a flame. For, oh, the terror in her sweet eyes, the repulsion, the horror, told a story to my heart that was all of hope. And she was not yet one of them. Now, he then gets the guts to, grab a plank of firewood, and he holds out his wafer of holy water, scaring them away. They laugh at him, but the thing is, they're laughing to try and seduce there. But it's an empty
gesture.
Yeah, they know all he has to do is pretty much wait for the night, and he does. He's not stupid. He knows, I can't beat you in a physical fight. You're stronger than me, so I'll just wait you out. You can't seduce me. You can't seduce Mina. Get stuffed. You know what I mean? Van Helsing and Mina combat these two completely unlike the... Sorry about that. The dog interrupted. Anyways. Well, our dog. Not Drac's dogs. Now, what's interesting here is that in the morning, Van Helsing is divided between, do I stay with Mina and protect her from any potential wolves or something? Or do I go? I have to risk it. Okay, leaves her in the wagon and encircled by the holy water. It's still not a great protection. It's no protection from the wolves, but it's protection from just about everything else. And he goes off to confront the castle and prove that the vampirist's efforts were truly meaningless. Now, this is where it's really interesting, because he takes his blacksmith hammer, and because he thought it might be useful, and proceeds to knock down the doors, thinking, well, they're probably going to, creak open and closed on me all of a sudden when it's least convenient, like it always does in horror movies. Yeah, Bram Stoker predicted that trope before it was even a trope.
So Van Helsing just breaks the door down.
Essentially. Well, he breaks off the rusty hinges so that he can't be trapped in there by Dracula's will.
Yeah.
He already foresaw what Dracula would try to do.
So we've got someone smart who knows what he's up against.
Yeah, at this point, I think just about any of the men might have done that.
Yeah.
Although, I'm not diminishing what Van Helsing's doing, it's just...
It's like he'd do that. Quincy would just shoot the...
Well, Quincy would be the only one tempted to use a fire. Just set the whole damn thing ablaze, but that's no guarantee. But but the thing is, he would still break the doors down before... Well, if he's reminded, break the doors down instead. Okay. Jonathan, Arthur, and Seward would do what Van Helsing did. Same with Mina.
Mm-hmm.
Now, once he finds them, though, he's initially under the spell of one of them because he's so enchanted by her. He almost doesn't actually kill her. But then, when he remembers Mina and her screamer, I think from earlier in the book when she passed out, he decides, I have to do this for her. And he then, in her name, purifies these maidens, who actually become even more beautiful and at peace when he stakes and chops off their heads right before they disappear into dust, so that he's basically shown a sign. Yes, he did them a favor. Then he drops a bit of holy water in their graves just in case. Drops some in Dracula's, so that he can't rest in any of them. Then takes off. Well, then he then arranges things so that Dracula could never return into the chapel, disgraced hollow. Not hollow, but it's just you always hollow it in D&D. The desecrated chapel. Freudian slip there. Well, he basically hollows the place.
Mm-hmm.
And then he returns to Mina. Now, Mina ends up receiving him very warmly and tells him, come away from this awful place. Let us go meet my husband, who is, I know, coming towards us. And she then describes the action, and she's terrified for her men folk because, they're racing towards a fight and a life or death battle.
Yes.
What I really find awesome is when you have both Jonathan and Morris going, halt! And at the gypsies, of course, in this story, this tribe of gypsies are evil and go, of course not. And, they serve Drac. Some of them get shot and get stabbed, as they so rightfully deserve.
Yeah.
I actually like Romanian and gypsy culture, but what I know about it, some of it. Not there are some families who are gypsy who are really big weirdos. And, best not to associate with some of them. But that's like every cultural or religious denomination. You've got always bad apples and good apples in each group. And, these guys are total bad apples serving Dracula. And, Jonathan and Morris are really the guys leading the charge. Jonathan by sheer impulsiveness, and Morris pretty much trying to cover for Jonathan to an extent. But Jonathan terrifies the gypsies into basically backing away and basically doing the Red Sea thing, because, stay out of that lunatic's way.
And it's the ones that aren't dead pretty much surrender.
Well, actually, they flee.
Okay, they flee.
They don't surrender.
They surrendered to Coffin.
Yeah. Well, then you get... you've got Mina, who's really relieved that, she's saved. You have, sadly, Mr. Morris, who had sunk to the ground, leaned on his elbow, holding his hand pressed to his side. The blood still gushed through his fingers. I flew to him, for the Holy Circle did not now keep me back. So did the two doctors. Jonathan knelt behind him, and the wounded man laid back his head on his shoulder. Okay, so we have Jonathan holding Morris there, like a brother. With a sigh, he took with a feeble effort my hand in that of his own, which was unstained. He must have seen the anguish of my heart in my face, for he smiled at me and said, I am only too happy to have been of any service. Oh, God, it was worth this to die. Look, look. And all the men basically fall to their knees and say amen, while those that aren't already kneeling down, like Jonathan and Morris are. Now God be thanked that all has not been in vain. See, the snow is not more stainless than her forehead. The curse has passed away. And to our bitter grief, with a smile and silence, he died a gallant gentleman. What do you think of Morris's death? That one's actually, that really pulls at the heartstrings.
Yeah, so you've got Drac dying.
Oh, right, I'm on. Okay. He dies when... Let me find the part. Right. You've got Morris's knife that plunged... Alright. But on the instant came the sweep and flash of Jonathan's great knife. I shrieked as I saw it shear through the throat, whilst at the same time Mr. Morris's Bowie knife plunged in the heart.
And, yeah, that's...
Basically, Morris and Jonathan killed Drac just as he, was looking triumphant. And, like a miracle before our very eyes and almost in the drawing of a breath, the whole body crumbled into dust and passed from our sight. Yeah, basically he's dead. Well, yeah. He's purified.
He's purified.
So, there's nothing left of Dracula. That wasn't really as important as Morris's death. Quincy's death is the real tragedy.
Yeah, that's the more important thing.
Is the biggest victim of a vampire is the vampire himself in a way, or the person in life.
The question of...
And you should judge Vlad by his actions during in his life rather than as Dracula. You judge the vampire Dracula as the monster he is.
Yeah, it's like, Vlad is guilty, but is he guilty of the crimes as Dracula?
No.
Exactly.
So, yeah. And at some point, apparently, over the centuries, he didn't want to be a vampire anymore. But as undead basically have no... Well, they have souls that that are imprisoned within them, like Parallax with Hal or Kyle.
Very good example.
The thing is, this is basically rape of the soul. And that's how Bram Stoker envisioned it when he created the undead monster trope, essentially.
Mm-hmm.
He basically invented it. And, well, very few stories have ever... Kids, so have Seward and Arthur, Arthur pretty much remarried, had kids. Same with Seward. Knowing Arthur, he probably named any daughter he has Lucy.
Mm-hmm.
And he probably named any sons he has after his dad, because, well...
Yes.
Seward probably named his son Abraham or something, after Abraham Van Helsing, his father figure. Quincy is the name for Jonathan and Mina's kid, who was conceived 3 months after Dracula's death. So that kills the theory that, well, Drac's the dad. And how could he be the dad if he was just for his earthly crimes as Vlad? And unless you believe in reincarnation, then he got a second shot. Because, well, I think his hell was being a vampire. And you've got Jonathan, who knocked up Mina. And you got to bear in mind, I think let me check this out. I'm just going to... This novel. And I actually like that it ends with a happily ever after for everyone. And
yeah,
the love story being completed between Jonathan and Mina. Although it's sad that Quincy died. That's the big tragedy at the end.
Mm-hmm. And one thing that I appreciate about this novel...
Three suitors for Lucy, but the thing is, they quickly realized, okay, we may not... We all wanted Lucy, but, well, what takes priority is saving innocent lives from this monster.
And
that killed Lucy. They all wanted revenge and justice for Lucy.
And they essentially all became bros.
Well, they were bros to begin with. It was... There's nothing to improve on with this.
I agree. It's like... I would say a 3.5.
What? Okay. So why 3.5?
I mean... Sure, I loved seeing Simon's adventure in there.
I loved it too, but this is... Come on, Dracula. It's a 4 novel.
Mm-hmm. I mean...
10 out of 10. 4 out of 4.
I don't think it can improve upon anything.
Sounds like a 4 to me. Well, you alright. 3.5, 4. And I've got to take Dan out back. Because, well, he insulted one of my favorite novels. I'm kidding. No, okay. So, you probably like Frankenstein more than this. It's fine if you do.
Frankenstein is a pretty philosophical book.
Movie.
I won't disagree there. I won't disagree.
Although it's missing Evie and her clumsiness.
Yes.
Although it has Mina as a train nerd. Mm-hmm. And her and Jonathan making googly eyes throughout the novel at each other.
Yeah.
Which I actually really like.
Mm-hmm. It's like, sure, Frankenstein is a bit of a slasher as well.
Yeah. Now, you know what I really hate doing? Is watching the NES. And that concludes our horror book club podcast for this year. Next year, we'll be doing the modern-day Prometheus, Frankenstein. That way we complete the 2 gothic horror classics. The other 2, I think, are Mr. Hyde and... Well, Dr.
Jekyll and Mr. Hyde.
And Dorian... The Portrait of Dorian Gray. So we'll do Frankenstein next year. And then maybe the year after that, we'll do Dorian Gray or something by Oscar Wilde. So, like, share... Hit the notification bell. And don't forget to subscribe. Oh, and have a happy Halloween. Mm-hmm. So, happy Halloween!